Welcome to Trading Nation. Check out the U.S. dollar continuing its slide this week after Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin appeared to be talking down the dollar, calling short-term weakness good for trade. However, President Trump later saying those comments were misinterpreted. Here's what he had to say when he sat down with CNBC from Davos.
We are doing so well. Our country is becoming so economically strong again, and strong in other ways too, by the way, that the dollar is going to get stronger and stronger. And ultimately, I want to see a strong dollar.
Well, the dollar moving back up a little bit, but still down a couple-year lows against the euro. How should you play the weak dollar? Mike Binger with Gradient Investments. Craig Johnson with Piper Jaffray. Mike, is there a way from an equity perspective to play the weaker dollar?
Well, I think a good way to look at it is that a weak dollar really helps the large multinational companies that we all invest in who sell their products overseas. They benefit in two ways. Their products that they sell overseas now look more competitive than local producers in the country they're selling it to. And when they transfer back into U.S. profits, those weak local currencies, those strong local currencies into a weak dollar, that's a tailwind for sales growth in the U.S. So companies like, for example, yesterday, UTX came out and said our sales grew 7%, and 2% of that was due to foreign currency translation. You saw 3M say the same thing. Johnson & Johnson said the same thing. It's a tailwind for companies. And I think that's going to be a common theme throughout the whole year in 2018. So a weak dollar really does help corporate America, and that's why I think Steve Mnuchin said that. I think he sees that as a big tailwind.
Okay, Craig Johnson, why will, and I know this because I looked at your charts, why will a weaker dollar help Freeport-McMoRan, the FCX?
Well, Brian, before I dive into that chart, let me just say this, that as a technician, thinking about intermarket relations and these things, typically we think about a stronger economy, stronger dollar, and then ultimately a stronger equity market to go along with it is typically what we've seen in the past. So right now, having this weaker dollar is a little bit kind of out of sync as you think about the intermarket relations. Now, back to the chart in terms of Freeport-McMoRan, what I'm seeing here is a pretty negative correlation between Freeport-McMoRan and the dollar itself. In fact, a lot of the basic metal stocks have been doing fairly well. I like this stock specifically because you're just now breaking out of a meaningful base that you've been in for multiple years. And typically, I like to buy these bases, a little bit of a pullback, buy it for another move higher. So a nice risk reward and setup on this. And again, continuation of the weaker dollar here as it's breaking below 90.
All right, looking at FCS, Freeport-McMoRan, the dollar certainly is one of the big stories. I think along with interest rates so far in 2018, maybe not getting quite as much attention as they both deserve. But we're trying to give you guys the attention you deserve. Mike Binger, Craig Johnson, thank you both very much. And folks, as always, thank you for watching Trading Nation.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.